people. What is the bill that is going to be sent to the Australian people for the spending that he is engaging in over the course of this election? What is the cost of his emissions reductions policies? These are questions, as yet, I'm still waiting for the answers to. On the issue of tax, I know it's $387 billion by the individual measures specifically that they've talked about. But during the course of this campaign, Bill, we're still waiting to find the answers to those questions. Maybe you can enlighten us. Companies that have 100,000 employees here in Western Australia who will be affected by those emissions reduction policies, 100,000, over 35,000 up in central Queensland, whose jobs will be put at risk. Penalty rates of clean event workers in return for what? A payment by the company to your union. So when it comes to penalty rates, we were asked before about who do you trust? We trust the independent umpire, which is the Fair Work Commission, which you established, you said should be kept independent, shouldn't be any interference. But if we run a wages system where the Prime Minister of the day just arbitrarily decides, well, no, we're going to throw that decision out and we're going to change it and we're going to say we're going to pay one group of workers, whether they're childcare workers or anywhere else, we're going to pay them more. I mean, I still don't know how you plan to do that. You're going to send them a cheque? Is it going to be a subsidy? What other wages are going to be directly subsidised by the government if Bill Shorten is the Prime Minister? I mean, that does sound a bit chaotic.
Well, you voted against it, mate.
Well, you voted 78 times against stronger border protection.
Didn't mean to sort
Mr. Shorten.
And I remember it very, very vividly. It was back under the Labor government when they abolished temporary protection visas. That's when the boat started again. It was August 2008. They got rid of them. They said there wouldn't be any impact. And then the boats started to come. Kevin Rudd said before he was elected, oh, I'll do turnbacks. The Labor Party say these things before the election. But when they come in and they understand what's involved, they quickly change their mind because they are divided on this issue. They have always been divided on this issue. And I can tell them from personal experience, it's not an easy thing to do, and you have to believe in it passionately. And you have to know that what you're doing. And having fashioned that policy and led that policy, then that is the only way you can guarantee that our borders will remain secure. The Labor Party, it's just not in their DNA. Well, I don't think that's exactly what we're doing at all, Bill. I mean, I'm the Prime Minister that saw the last child off Nauru. I'm the Prime Minister that has ensured that we have protected all of the elements of our border protection regime, because this is the lesson. If you play with any element of it, and I know this from experience, it is an invitation to people smugglers, and we can't have that happen again. And then you go and have a self-managed fund after that, you will get hit by the retirees' tax. 50,000 pensioners will be hit by the retirees' tax that Labor proposed to bring in. And it all has to do around self-managed super funds. So if someone goes into a self-managed super fund and you're a pensioner, you will get in a self-managed super fund. It can be as much as $12,000. Wow. And this is going to have, he says, wow, as if it doesn't matter to somebody, that $12,000 out of an income of some $50,000 is not a big deal, or $60,000. Well, it is a big deal, Bill. People have worked hard all of their lives to set themselves up to be self-funded in retirement. And for you to say that they have not been paying taxes and somehow this is some great gift that has been bestowed on them. This is a generation that's worked hard over their entire lives. And so, Bill, if someone has one of those franking credits and they have a large income and they can offset it, that's okay. But someone who's on a small income, who has a self-managed super fund and is a self-funded retiree, they should be denied the same tax credit that someone else who earns a lot of money should get. The only thing you're upset about is he's said no to you because he thinks you'll be a danger to the economy. They tried to get Clive Palmer's preferences.
Rubbish.
I think the only thing... Well, I'm sorry,
Rubbish.
Bill, you actually had your own people talking to him, as Clive has clearly pointed out. It seems the only thing you're upset about is he's said no to you because he thinks you'll be a danger to the economy. But when it comes to Clive Palmer, look, he has to obey the law and do the right thing by Australians like everyone else. But at the end of the day, when we have to decide, do we think that the United Australia Party would be more dangerous to the Australian economy than Bill Shorten, the Labor Party and the Greens? Well, I'm sorry. I think Bill Shorten, the Labor Party and the Greens are. And the Greens are for death taxes. The Greens are for actually walking away from our alliance for bases with the United States. You even had the unions were even up in Townsville trying to get a special deal for the port, for goodness sake, Bill. So
didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, we've had a lot of time to answer questions about what will the tax bill be, what is the cost of the emissions reductions policies? And we still haven't got the answers. And we're even still getting not the straight answers in terms of what the impact is of the retirees' tax and these other issues. So voting has started. People deserve to know what the cost of change is. We've been heading in the right direction when it comes to ensuring the budget gets up on track and we get unemployment down. And we can list 2,000 medicines on the pharmaceutical benefit scheme to ensure that we can save lives and make the quality of life better for just so many Australians. We've set all that out. Mr Shorten is still not answering these fundamental questions. Now is not the time to turn back. Now is the time to ensure that we keep our economy strong. Now is the time to ensure we keep our financial management strong, because the difficult times will come in the future, and we've demonstrated our ability to ensure that those times can be managed well for all Australians.